Yeah, they had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I was watching a lot of basketball.
Caitlin Clark's rise in basketball has been nothing short of extraordinary, and it's been thrilling to watch. In fact, I caught as many games of hers last year as I did watching Indiana State. Her play truly stands out. When one of the greatest basketball players ever, Larry Bird, mentions that he's watching you as much as he watches his former team, you know you're doing something special. Bird, who doesn't hand out praise lightly, made it clear that Caitlin Clark is a player to watch. For those familiar with Bird's career, you know he's competed against the best and has seen it all. But even with that wealth of experience, he's taken the time to watch Clark, a young player just starting out in her career. And it's not just about Bird being a fan, it's about recognizing something in Clark's game that reminds him of his own. Larry Bird wasn't the most athletic player on the court. He wasn't the fastest or the tallest. But what made him great was his basketball IQ, his ability to read the game in ways that seemed almost magical. Decades later, Bird still feels that same sense of wonder.
Clark is breaking television records. Again, she is breaking her own television records.
Clark, like Bird, isn't just making waves, she's creating a whole new ocean. She's not only breaking records, she's breaking her own TV viewership records. To put things in perspective, Nike offered her a $28 million contract before she even played her first professional game. That's more than many NBA players make. In just her early years, Clark has already become the WNBA's brightest star. But with all the attention that comes with being in the spotlight, it's not all cheers and autographs. Everyone is watching your every move. Some people will love you, while others will doubt you. This is where the comparison to Bird becomes more meaningful. Bird and Clark share something special on the court. They both have a rare ability to read the game like no one else. It's almost as if they're both playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, thinking several moves ahead. What makes Caitlin Clark's game so exceptional is more than just her shooting. It's her entire perspective on the game. Like Bird, she compensates for any lack of athleticism with an unmatched ability to outthink and outperform her competition. She's proven that basketball isn't just about who can run faster or jump higher, it's about who can think quicker and execute better. When Clark steps onto the court, her focus and confidence are clear. She has the same look in her eyes that all the greats had, an expression that says, "I belong here." She's not just a great player, she's a player who plays the game in a way that few others can. And it's this combination of skills, intelligence, and unshakable confidence that makes Caitlin Clark one of the most exciting players in basketball today. Steve Kerr, with his extensive experience as both a player and coach, knows brilliance when he sees it. And when he looks at Caitlin Clark, he sees something special. He sees shades of Steph Curry, not just Larry Bird. And when you think about it, that comparison speaks volumes about where
I've been watching from afar and understanding just how much of a power she is out there on the court. The cool part is the way that she plays and her range. The level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison.
a lot of Curry in his early years. Many may not remember, but in his first few seasons, Curry wasn't the superstar we know today. Kerr has been watching Clark closely, and it's clear that she's a force to be reckoned with on the court. Her shooting range and the difficulty of her shots are reminiscent of Curry's rise, especially in those early years when he had to build strength and adjust to being a target for defenders. Caitlin is going through a similar journey now. Like Curry, Clark has had both extraordinary highs and difficult lows. She's put up incredible performances, like scoring 30 points against the Washington Mystics when everything seemed to click. But she's also faced tough nights, like when she shot only 10% against the New York Liberty. That's the nature of professional basketball. You have to learn how to manage both the high points and the challenging moments. But one thing Caitlin shares with Curry is her willingness to attempt what others wouldn't even consider. She's known to pull up for shots as soon as she crosses half court, and we're not talking about desperate heaves. These are shots she practices relentlessly, day in and day out. Her passing is also exceptional. Think Patrick Mahomes on the basketball court. Behind-the-back passes, no-look passes, and full-court shots that hit teammates perfectly in stride. Caitlin isn't just playing basketball, She's pushing the game forward. Steph Curry, the best shooter in NBA history, has expressed his admiration for Clark as well. He's noted that she's fearless, driven, and doesn't just score points. She makes everyone around her better. When you watch her, you can't really game plan for what she does. She adds an element of surprise to the game, especially when she crosses half court and is already in range to score. Now, let's talk about Caitlyn's shooting form, because it's truly remarkable. Curry himself has pointed out that her form is nearly flawless, whether she's shooting from beyond the arc or from 30 feet away. Her follow-through is perfect, her elbow is always at the right angle, and her feet are always in position. This kind of precision comes from thousands of hours of practice in an empty gym. It's not something you're just born with. When Caitlyn pulls up from the logo, the crowd knows something special could happen. The buzz in the arena builds before she even releases the ball, because they know they're about to witness something that's not often seen in the game. But these shots aren't just about the score. They have a bigger...
But I'm rooting for Caitlyn because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before.
How do you defend against a player who can make shots from angles others wouldn't even think of trying? Teams have thrown everything at her. They've denied her the ball, doubled her, put taller defenders on her. But Caitlyn always finds a way to score, just like the all-time greats do. Her ability to shoot from nearly anywhere on the court and pass with the precision of a quarterback makes her nearly impossible to defend. The truth is, there's no perfect way to guard a player like her. And while Caitlyn's rise has been quick, not everyone was ready for the speed at which she's made her mark. But for those of us who followed the game closely, it's clear that Caitlyn Clark is a player who could change the course of basketball history. Some WNBA players have taken a more cautious approach, but NBA stars have embraced Caitlyn Clark's unique style with excitement, and that's perfectly fine. Every great player who's changed the game has faced doubts. Bird did. Curry did. Change can be uncomfortable, but it's essential for progress. Even LeBron James, someone who's been under intense pressure since high school, came forward to support Clark, saying, "Caitlyn Clark is going to make great things happen for the WNBA." That's powerful backing from one of the biggest names in basketball. The road to greatness is never easy. It's not supposed to be. We've all seen those tough games, like the one against New York where shots just wouldn't fall. Those moments, where the game feels harder than ever, are exactly where legends are born. Every player who's been great has faced challenges: Jordan, Bird, Curry. It's not about avoiding failure, but about how you respond to it. What makes Caitlyn Clark's journey even more remarkable is the influence it has off the court. It's not just about the stats, the highlights, or even the comparisons to other legends. Her impact is felt in gyms and driveways across America, where young kids, especially young girls, are watching her and thinking, "I want to do that." Caitlyn is showing today's youth that their dreams can be bigger than ever before. Much like Larry Bird inspired a generation to perfect their jump shots, Clark is making a similar mark on the game at just 22 years old. Clark stands at a pivotal point in basketball history. She plays with a style that not only speaks to the future of the game, but also honors the fundamentals that have made the greats so respected. We're not just watching an extraordinary player, we're witnessing someone who could fundamentally change how basketball is played. That's what makes basketball so special. Sometimes a player comes along who doesn't just play the game, they completely reimagine it. Larry Bird did it with his court vision and clutch shooting. Steph Curry changed the game by expanding the possibilities of shooting range. Now, Caitlyn Clark is blending the best of what came before her while adding her own fresh, distinctive flair. This is bigger than just winning games or making highlight reels. Caitlyn Clark is challenging what we think is possible on a basketball court. She's breaking down barriers, changing perceptions, and leaving us all in awe every time she steps onto the court. Just like we couldn't take our eyes off Larry Bird in those Indiana games, we can't wait to see what Caitlyn Clark does next.